Hello and welcome to the United Stand. When you're doing a late night show on the United Stand, it's either really good news or it's really bad news. And on this case, it's really bad news. Juan Mata has been confirmed. Really strange that this wasn't mentioned by Jose Mourinho in his press conference earlier. Juan Mata had an operation on his groin yesterday. He's obviously out of the West Brom game and he's probably out for the rest of the season. I'll cut to the chase on this one very quickly, and no pun intended in relation to the fact that he's had an operation. But it's a groin operation from a groin injury, funnily enough. 3 weeks. Well, there's nothing funny about this at all, which I'll get into in a minute. 3 weeks probably before he can start doing minor exercise. 6 weeks before he can start doing strenuous exercise. It's the end of March. It's the first day of April in an hour's time. So 6 weeks takes him to the middle of May. Match fitness is done for the season, and it really is a real blow. And I think, Smalling and Jones, we've sort of like been going, so what? And I like Smalling, and they are decent players, but when it's Juan Mata, that's a problem. It is a problem for Manchester United, and it's a major blow. And I know a lot of people have injuries, and I know it's part of the game, but he wasn't even on bloody international duty. How's he got this injury? Is it something that he had? He can't have had it 2 weeks ago, because we could have put him in for the operation 2 weeks ago and he might have been back for the end of April. So he's obviously only done it in the last couple of days in training, which is so disappointing. Simon Bennett, Matt Willock has travelled with the squad for tomorrow. Remember, we are at home, so he won't have travelled far. 21-year-old from the youth setup attacking midfielder. But this is a problem with Juan Mata, because I think Mata's been fantastic this season. I think he's been one of our top 5 performers. What a season he's had. And Mata's probably not going to do... Well, he does chip in with very important goals and assists, but it's the consistency that's really important with Mata. And actually, on the preview I did last night, I said Mata needs to play at number 10 to feed the speed of Martial, Mkhitaryan and Rashford tomorrow and pick the passes. And that's what we're going to lose. We're going to be really reliant on Mkhitaryan now for the rest of the season. And I know people are going to say, don't worry, we've got Rooney. But I do worry, and it's not a Rooney witch hunt, but Rooney for the last 3 years has been pretty poor, and people suddenly expecting Wayne Rooney to come back and be Juan Mata. I think, look, I hope, I really do hope it happens, because it's not a Rooney witch hunt, but where have you been for the last 3 years? And I know he's been better this season, but there's a world of difference between Wayne Rooney at his best now and what Juan Mata is. It's a big loss. I suppose we can't get too much caught up in the moment and the disappointment, but it is a big blow to Manchester United. There's no other way of looking around it. It weakens our squad. It weakens our bench. We've let Schweinsteiger go. Now, Schweinsteiger's not Juan Mata, but we are looking like from a very big squad. We are a couple of more injuries and we're in trouble, aren't we? And I don't think we've got many. I think we lack a really great number 10 anyway, and I think Juan Mata gives us that. And obviously, he won't be giving us that for the rest of the season now. And it's just not what we wanted at this point in time. And the big thing in my mind, the big concern for me that really worries me, if I'm totally honest, is I can deal with injuries, and we've done it years and years at Manchester United. You're always going to get suspensions and injuries. I remember when Darren Fletcher couldn't play in the Champions League final because he was robbed after a silly yellow card. And it disappoints you, but you get over it. But my concern with this is we must get Champions League football. I've just done the video a couple of hours ago of the top 5 players we should be bringing in to play alongside Pogba. Well, whatever players we want to bring in is going to be very limited. Not impossible, because we've done it before, but being in the Champions League just makes us that little bit more easy. And yes, the Champions League is the prize at the end, but to get top 4, we needed to go on a real good run of consistency. We've got to do the Europa League at the same time, and that means you've got to freshen up the squad. We can't do it. We can't do it without people like Mata, I believe. I don't think we can. And maybe we're not very far off that point now, that tipping point where we go, right, we really have just got to park the Premier League for this year and hope that we pick up points, but really put everything into the Europa League, because we cannot, I've said it, we cannot afford an injury to Mkhitaryan. Now, you can dream all you like that we could do it with Wayne Rooney, but Wayne Rooney, as valuable as he is to the squad, and I'm not diminishing that, he's very important, but he's not Juan Mata and he is not Mkhitaryan. He hasn't got that trickery, that guile, that ability to control the ball in close confined spaces and find 4 or 5 yard passes between defences, between the lines. That's not Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney is all or nothing, blood and thunder, grabs the ball, does a tackle, hits a 50-yard pass out to Valencia. That's Wayne Rooney. He's not, give me the ball in with 3 players around me and I'll come up with some trickery and brilliant skill and brilliant passing. That's not what he does. That's not Wayne Rooney. And I think you need that sort of player, especially in Europe. So Mkhitaryan becomes very, very important and he needs to be wrapped in cotton wool. And the bad thing about Mkhitaryan is he has had a couple of injuries this season. And if we did lose Mkhitaryan, then where are you looking? Can we bring Pereira back? I mean, that sort of popped into my head. Can we bring Pereira back from Granada at this late stage in the season? Because if we can, I'd get him back. I'm not sure we can. I'm not sure that whether we can at this late stage. I know we could in January, but is that because that was the transfer window? Or is it because he's a player of ours and we can bring him back? I would bring him back. That's, like I say, it's nothing against Rooney, Fellaini, any of Herrera. I mean, Herrera could become important, but he uses Herrera as a centre midfielder, and I did think that before I went live. Herrera can play that position, so we have options, and of course Pogba can play further forward, but it's not. It's the player Mata is. I've got the bloody pencil again. Anxiety. It's the player that Mata is. It's that, you know, like I keep coming back to, that confined spaces, close control, little passes, moving the ball around. That's what we miss with Mata, and there's only Mkhitaryan in our squad who can do it. Or Pereira, who unfortunately isn't part of our squad now. But can we bring him back? TC Singh says no, we can't. Awesome Guy says not a chance. So it's a downer. It's a downer before a very big game against West Brom tomorrow. No Pogba, no Herrera, no Mata. I mean, I remember when we were ripping it up at home to Leicester and that was our midfield 3. We've got none of that now. So what he will do tomorrow, I would put Mkhitaryan at 10 and put Lingard on the right. But it's a big blow. It's a big blow, Mata being out. And it needs to... We just got to swallow it up and go on with it, haven't we? I mean, there's a great comment from Mourinho today, which I really hoped he was going to make, that he wasn't going to start talking about fatigue and injuries, and you've just got to get on with it, because ultimately this is the squad that we've got, and there are options within that squad. I just hope that we don't become so... I have a fear, and you can call me negative, or you can just call me, you know, being a bit over concerned, but I do worry if we become so reliant on Rooney and Fellaini, because we've seen over the last few years that, yeah, they can do it every now and again, but can they do it over the next, 9 games in April and probably another 7 games in May? I think you need more than that, and Mata gives it you. Granted, not every game. He's had some bad games this season himself, but that consistency, that he's just a top player, Mata, and he's done it everywhere. He's won everything. I think he's one of the only players in world football to have won the World Cup, the Euros, the Champions League, and the Europa League. He's won them all. So he's a top player, and he's a big loss. But such is life. This is what happens in football. We'll have to just bloody crack on with it, won't we? But on the bright side, he has extra rest, says Daniel Sheehan. What, till August? He's out till August, mate. He's had an operation on his groin yesterday. 6 weeks before he's even kicking a ball again. So he's gone. That's middle of May. I think the Europa League finals, May the 24th. To be honest, he's out. It's a very, very relevant point to say he's out for the season, because yes, he could get back for the final. He could get back for the last 1 or 2 Premier League games. But by then, we'll have done it all without him anyway. The problem's going to be the next 6 weeks without Mata. It's not whether he can get back before the end of the season. He's going to be missing on the crucial period. You'd argue if he did get back for the final, he'd probably be on the bench anyway, because we've done it without him, and I hope we do. But it's a big. It was bad. It's bad. It's bad. Jack McNamara says Mickey at 10, Rashford on the right, Lingard on the left. You've forgotten Anthony Martial. Not that I'm a huge fan, but giving him Memphis away may hurt, says Andrew Rossi. Well, Memphis isn't Mata. If we could get Pereira back, then I would sleep easier, because I think he's got that. If you've been watching Pereira for Granada, he's like Mkhitaryan and Mata. He's got that. He wants the ball all the time in small spaces. He can move the ball around. We've only got Mata and Mkhitaryan who can do it, and I'd love him to come back. But someone's on about De Gea going to Real Madrid in the Daily Star. God, I'm not that I'm worried about that. I'm just saying the Daily Star is not good. John Morris says James Ducker saying he might play games before the end of the season. I'm sure he might, but it doesn't help us for the next month. The next month's the key. Hopefully getting through Anderlecht, semi-finals of the Europa League. They're the tough ones, and all the games we've got coming up. So we will get Herrera back, obviously, from suspension. We will get Pogba back from his injury very soon, Zlatan. So we've got a big enough squad, but I just think it's the player. This is late at night. I just think it's the player that we've lost. There's certain players we could lose, and I don't want to really list them off, but Ashley Young, if he'd picked up an injury, we could get by. There's just certain players in this squad I think that we really can't get by without, and that is for a long period of time. I would say Herrera, Pogba, Martial, Rashford, because they're the two flair pace players, Mkhitaryan, Zlatan, and obviously now Bailly and Rojo because Jones and Smalling are injured, Valencia. Those players we can't do without. Your people like your Rooneys, your Fellainys, your Lingards, your Ashley Youngs, we need them. They're very important squad players, but you could probably get by without them because they're not key first team players. But Mata, for me, is in that category of being a key first team player, and it's a real blow. Chris Goodrew saying, can we get Pereira back? A lot of people are saying no, we can't. I'd love to get Pereira back, but it's probably not going to happen. Big game tomorrow though, isn't it? Join us for the watch along. We'll be live at 2 o'clock with the team news, which is always interesting with Manchester United. I really hope we don't play Fellaini and Rooney in the same midfield, because I think that would be a massive boost to West Brom. Not because Fellaini and Rooney are bad, but just because, as we saw against Watford and as we saw against Man City, you play Fellaini and Rooney in the same midfield and you can move the ball around quickly because they're too slow. That would be my concern with that. Hopefully he wouldn't do that. And let's not forget, Rooney hasn't played for a while, so it would be a risk. If Rooney doesn't normally come back from injury and play that well, although I think the last time he did this season he did, but he doesn't normally. Andrew Rossi, can anybody in the youth system help? Well, Willock's coming up. He's 21. He's decent. I don't think he'll ever be a first team player for Manchester United, if I'm totally blunt. Gomez is fantastic, but he's too small and too young. Twan Seaby's not a creator. He's a defensive midfielder. I mean, if you're looking for somebody creative, I don't think there's anybody ready yet. I really don't. But we will have to strive. It's a siege mentality, as Mouldy Balls 90 says. Lovely name. It's a siege mentality. We won't get too down about it, but it's a blow. It is a blow. Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, I understand why people say that's not a blow. I'd like Smalling, but I understand why people say it's not a blow. Juan Mata is a blow. We can't afford any more, and we would hope that we won't pick up any more. But the sheer volume of games, I've always said it, we will pick up injuries in April, and picking up Mata before they even start, it's just going to be on tender hooks now between now and the end of May about how many more we pick up, and there will be more. It's just natural at this time of the season. You start playing loads of games after a long hard season, you're going to pick up injuries, and I just hope that we can minimise that to the main players, but we'll see. Mad Marcus, dear God, think Fellaini is not... Well, no, not about Fellaini. Sportsnet showing the... Fosu Mensah isn't from the youth squad anymore. He's in the reserve, says General Sod. And Mkhitaryan is key tomorrow, says Ashok, which I totally agree with. Okay, so call Pereira back on loan. I think we need to see if we can get that done, to be honest, because I think it's really important. But... thanks everyone. It is late at night on a Friday, but I did want to react to it because I think it is a big blow for Mata and for Manchester United and for us as fans. It really is. But I've done the Pogba video. If you haven't seen that, top 5 people to go alongside him if you want a bit of positivity. And we'll be live at 2 o'clock tomorrow with the team news and a watch along all the way through till full time. We've got to win tomorrow. I think we've just got to take it step by step, haven't we? We're all behind the club. We're all behind the players. It's an exciting end to the season. You can't get too much down in the dumps. There will be other injuries, but it's a blow considering that he's been sat in at Old Trafford just doing training, not even on international duty, and somehow he's picked up a groin injury. But that is life. It's one of them things. You just have to get on with it. Recall Yannisai, says General Zod. Well, you say that. And the injury is real. It's come from Manchester United now. I was doubting it about an hour ago, but Manchester United have released it, that there'll be more to follow, but it's definitely true, and it's come from a few credible injuries. But Yannisai back. I'll take Yannisai back just because he's an attacking player. I don't rate Yannisai, but we might need players who can attack. There isn't really anybody in the youth setup, so maybe I don't think we need him yet, but if we lost Mkhitaryan, if we can, I doubt we can. I doubt we can pull him back. I doubt we can. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow at 2 o'clock with the team news, an hour before kick-off with West Brom. Get your comments below. Give us your thoughts. A lot of you are saying Fellaini and Rooney will be fine. I'd have my concerns about that, but that's especially in relation to Rooney. I don't think Rooney can do what Mata or Mkhitaryan does anymore, and I don't think he's done it for 3 years. But he might prove us wrong. This is hopefully going to be his last 6 to 8 weeks at the club for Rooney, and it'd be nice to see him going out on a high based on the fantastic career he's had at United. Has he got anything more? Can he find those gears anymore? A lot of people think he can't, but very, very important tomorrow. I'm a bit shocked by that Mata thing. You don't expect that when Mourinho's done the press conference already. I'm very shocked by it, but it is true. Thanks everybody. See you tomorrow, and get comments below. Please drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. United Stand, it is your channel. Fantastic set of people on the live comments as per usual. And this is what we do. We react to United news every time there is some. So thanks for watching. Get Pereira back. I think we need to get that trending. I don't know whether it's possible, but get Pereira back. Speak to you tomorrow.